That sounded kind of weak. Left the bike outside. That didn't sound very good. Taking the bummer. Hopefully this will record okay. It's been a little spotty with this camera, and I made a few videos or just tried to record. These shades are really fogged up. Just tried to record something, but the wind noise over the that's a little bit better. The wind noise over the windshield was so bad. So hopefully the audio is not distorted too much. I'm not sure. I think that's just water. Might be leaking a little something. I don't know. That's fine. Put this thing into reverse here. And off we go. Okay, so this is definitely going to be one of the last days to ride a motorcycle in Washington State, or at least Western Washington. It's going to be about 64 degrees today, which is incredibly high for it's November. It's one day before Election Day, I guess, today. It's November 3rd. Or November 2nd, sorry. And yeah, so anything in the 60s for this time of year is unusually high. And you can tell, I mean, the air is very, it definitely feels like fall, and the mornings are really cold, and just for, well, that's a cute little dog. Just for a few days or a few hours out of the day, like, you know, between like 1 and 5, it's like relatively not cold. I wouldn't really say it's warm, but right now it's, I guess it's 9:55. We just I guess we just fell back an hour, right? Isn't that what you do? So I woke up the other day at like, I don't know, 2 in the morning, and it was, I guess it was really 3 o'clock, but it was 2 o'clock because we fell back an hour. So I guess I got 5 hours of sleep instead of 4. I went back to bed later, but I was a little confused. All the clocks were different. But yeah, the temperature now, like I said, is going to be, it's forecasted to be like 60, in the low 60s today. And then we have a bunch of rain coming in. And then it looks like next week there might be a few sunny days, but it says the high is like 44, which isn't very warm at all. So it's like a 20-degree difference. Right now it's probably like 45 degrees, and it's pretty cold. So November, December, January, February, those are probably 4 months where you really can't do much on a bike here. There might be a day here or there where, you know, you can go out if you want, but you know, it's still you know, maybe like a high in the mid 40s, and it's sunny, so it's still really not that good. And then here, as opposed to a lot of other areas, we just get so many days of rain, and it's not like we really get a ton of rain volume wise. We don't get like rainstorms or anything. It's just a persistent amount of like kind of light rain. We do have some days where it can rain a lot, but most of the time it's just kind of like, it's not quite a drizzle, but it's not heavy rain, and it's just consistent. So kind of like I was saying before, you can look at your forecast on your phone and it'll say, you know, basically have like 10 days of just like rain, and the only positive you see on there is like a day where it's like potentially no rain, where it's like cloudy, chance of rain like 30%, and that's like the best you can hope for around here. I will say though, again, just compared to other places, you always kind of, or I've always kind of said, man, I wish I could live somewhere where it was really sunny all the time. And the problem with that is if you go to one of those places, a lot of times it's like incredibly hot in the summer, so that's miserable as well. As much as I say, like, you know, I'd want to have the sun all the time, it is not terrible living here. It's just kind of the 4 months of the year that are coming up where it's just not very good. But I really wouldn't want to live in a place where it's like over 100 degrees for like 3 or 4 months out of the year, or even 2 months. That's just ridiculously hot. And where we are, it's actually very common. Most houses do not have air conditioning at all. Even houses that are, you know, really nice houses don't have air conditioning. So and I don't think most apartments do either that people rent around here in this area, simply because, you know, the temperature only gets above about 90 degrees maybe for like a week. We have had a few years where it's gotten, you know, close to 100 for maybe 10 days at the most, but that's pretty extreme for us. Like I said, the east side of this state, so over the mountains, like in Yakima or Spokane or like Chelan, really anywhere over in that area, you can get, you know, it's more of a desert climate over there, so they can have days that are, you know, their summers are really hot. They're usually like over 100 for probably a month, or close to 100. And I know I've gone over there, it'll be like 75 degrees over here and just completely nice. You know, you're just wearing kind of a t-shirt and you're totally comfortable. You're not too hot, you're not cold at all, and it's just sunny. And then if you go over there, you know, you'll just be kind of sweating just going outside. It's in the 90s. And you know, there's other parts of the country where it's a lot more humid in the south and it's even hotter, but I'm not used to it. So anything really in like the high 80s is pretty hot for me, just because I'm not used to it, you know. And so there's that. And then plus the water we have around here is so cold because it's river water, that there's really probably only a month that you can really maybe go in the water, as far as like go for a swim. I went into the river a few times this year, and the water, even in August when it's, you know, 80 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning, and, you know, a high of like maybe 90, 94, the water was still incredibly cold, and I really couldn't stay in the water for more than a few. I just went in there to take a dip, right, just to kind of cool off, and then you're in there for maybe a minute, and then you're back, just kind of cool, drying off on the shore. The only time I've been in water that was warm, and again, I had never been in water that was warm. I went to a place called Ocean Shores, and I actually went into the ocean when I was like, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13 years old, so quite a while ago, or maybe 14. But I always just thought water was cold. I always thought bodies of water, because I didn't know any better, and I still really don't. But you know, anywhere around here, it's like the water is going to be damn cold. Even a lake is not. The lakes aren't as cold, but they're still relatively cold, just because it doesn't get warm around here that much. It doesn't get incredibly warm. But I went into the ocean, and and man, I was like, I'm never doing that again. You know, the water's salty, you're getting waves coming at you, and it's like very cold, there's seaweed and stuff. But we went to, I was lucky enough to go to Maui like as a senior trip thing on a sports team, which was awesome. You know, to think we were one of the worst teams ever, but we got to go to Maui for a trip. And this was in December. And so here it was like, you know, 7 hours of daylight, 7-8 hours of daylight maybe, high of like 42 degrees and like just chilly, right? Then you go there and it was like 85 degrees, you know, just like perfect island temperature. And I remember I got incredibly sunburnt. One thing I did bring, I think I did have some sunscreen, but I was just kind of naive and young. I was like 18 years old, so you just don't really think about that stuff. I was walking around without a shirt on and stuff, and was out, you know, I was out all the time. Like, you know, we were outside the entire time we were there. We went inside to sleep, and that was it. And it was awesome. It was really fun. Mostly just because it was so weird for me to have really nice temperatures in the winter. I had never gone anywhere ever in my life up to that point for like a vacation, so I didn't really know. I never